Hey, what is going on, everyone? In today's video, I want to show you my favorite way to get acid in Once Human. Now, for those that don't know, acid and stardust source are probably two of the most important endgame materials for crafting, so being able to get a good amount of those resources quickly is definitely valuable. Now, the method in this video is not a passive method. I know there are passive methods out there for collecting acid, but in my opinion, they just take way too long, and you got to dedicate too many resources to them. It's just not something I personally want to do, but this method is something that me and my team have been doing, and it just works like a charm. So this might not be the quote-unquote best method for getting acid, but it's definitely been pretty efficient for us, and hopefully it is for you as well. So in your inventory, you might have noticed that you've been collecting things called Blackfell extraction permits and Blackfell refinery permits. These can be used at 7 locations across the map for workshop defense missions. These are basically horde events where you need to protect a machine from waves of enemies. After completing each event, you'll be rewarded with a few materials, including stardust source and acid. To start the event, you need to place a permit into the machine, and the different leveled permits will change the rewards and levels of enemies that you need to face. What's important here for acid collection is that the refinery permits, the blue ones, give 80 acid as a reward, while the extraction permits only give 40. So regardless of what level of permit that you're using, the acid rewards are always either 80 or 40 depending on the type of permit. So we're going to want to focus on the refinery permits here, although it's still good to use the extraction permits if you don't have any refinery ones. Now, before you start a workshop defense, you'll want to unlock dishes number 3 in your memetics under the logistics tab. This will unlock a recipe for preserved deviated chops, which gives you 50% more acid per deviant kill for 30 minutes. So the rewards from the workshop defenses won't get that 50% acid increase, but any enemy you kill during the defense that drops acid will have 50% more. So with this food buff, enemies were dropping between 4 and 8 acid per enemy, and I was getting around 140 to 160 acid per workshop defense run, and those only last about 4.5 minutes with a 1-minute cooldown in between. So if you're really efficient with it, this is how it can work. 1 preserved deviated chop lasts for 30 minutes, and in those 30 minutes, you can probably do around 5 workshop defense runs, which would net you between 500 and 600 acid. There's a 1-minute cooldown between defenses, so you can also get extra acid from killing enemies in the area near your workshop. For example, I started with 34 acid here, and by the end of our run, which lasted about 30 minutes, I had over 600 acid. And as for actually setting up defenses for this, my buddy and I just used the car defense item, which is like 6 metal scraps to build, so you can just place them all over during the build phase, and we honestly didn't have a problem at all with this. I'm sure there are better defenses and better setups that you can use, but we just wanted this to be quick and easy, and that was the defense item that we ended up using the most. Now, in order to get more permits, because you will eventually realize that you're starting to run out of them, you have a chance to get them from weapon and gear crates. There's actually a great weapon and gear crate run with 16 crates that I just made a video on, so I'll put that link in the description for you if you're interested. And that is actually right near the Blackfell oil fields workshop defense, so that's my favorite area to do them in. And also, just as an FYI, even though the level of permit doesn't matter for the acid rewards, the level of permit that you get from weapon and gear crates is dependent on where you are looting it from. So if you hover over your permits in your inventory, it will tell you the level range that you can get them from. So for example, a level 1 permit is found in areas 11 to 20, and a level 2 permit is found in areas level 21 to 30, and so on. And although the level of permit that you can get is dependent upon the level of the area that you're in, you can actually use any level permit at any workshop defense station. So if you wanted to use a level 4 permit in Broken Delta, you are welcome to go ahead and do that. And if you wanted to use a level 1 permit at the Blackfell oil fields, you can do that as well. Also, if you're in a full party of 4, everyone has their own permits that they can use, so I definitely recommend doing this in a full party if you can, not because of the difficulty, but just because of how many permits you can have in total. You can even shift right-click on a workshop defense icon on the map and share it in the world chat if you want to try to recruit some people to do it. And lastly, the preserved deviated chops require any type of meat, peppercorn, and salt. The meat and salt are pretty easy to get, but if you're having trouble finding peppercorn, you can go to the vendor named Lacey at Blackfell, and they have peppercorn that you can buy daily and seeds that you can buy weekly. And that's pretty much it. Really, in a nutshell, you're eating the preserved deviated chops to get that acid boost, you're loading up preferably a refinery permit at a workshop defense, and you're just doing them over and over with your group. I just like this way because you're also getting other resources like Stardust Source and Premium Fuel, and the enemies come to you, so you don't really need to go out and look for them. If you have any other great ways to get more acid, definitely leave a comment down below. I would love to try it out, and if this video ended up helping you out, feel free to like and subscribe to help support the channel. Your support has been awesome, and I am so excited to keep making the best Once Human content I possibly can for you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and take care.